Hello there, beautiful people. I'm super excited to see you here again on my channel. This will be a really cute video, very quick. I really think it's going to be very useful for those who are trying to learn makeup and honestly just trying to perfect it a little bit better. Today I wanted to show you quick and easy tips that you could use to have a perfect concealer every time you use it. I am sure I have been seeing a lot of people make mistakes around the concealer part, so I think it is a good idea to share these tips and just have it here on my channel. Without further ado, let's get started. As you can see, my face is currently bare. I have nothing on because I do want to show you that I am having pretty good darker under eyes. It is quite difficult to see this on camera, but I do have veins around my eyes that appear blue. And sometimes during the winter, my eyes did get really dry, so they would flake around here as well. To prevent this, it is very important to hydrate this area. It is super important to do really good skin prep, not only for your face, but also under your eyes to get that nice smooth finish as well. Of course, the most important part then would be how you apply your foundation, your concealer, and just how you use it in order to perfect it further. There are different techniques and tricks that you could use to prevent creasing and in general flaky under eyes. Maybe sometimes your under eyes appear too bright, which you really don't want. All right, so I have zoomed you in. As you can see, I have a little bit of wrinkles around here. So they're like little crevices that my natural smile creates. And also like I have some under eye bags and I do have chronic blue deep set eyes right here. It comes from my father. Usually I would appear with really deep bags right here, but I was literally just born with it, but I really don't like the appearance of it, and there are some ways that I could hide it. I know I've been talking a lot, but I'm just giving you the idea of what we're going to do today. All right, so to have that perfect base, I will go ahead and use a serum. So you've seen a lot of serums around my channel. I've been using a lot of serums before my makeup. Today I'm going to give a try this Hydro Barrier Serum. This is from Inky List, and I have not tried this one before and I want to give it a try. I've heard so many good things about it. Let's see how it works. But I do think because it has hyaluronic acid and some ceramides, it will create a really nice skin barrier and protect this area as well and keep it hydrated. I also recommend trying out niacinamide. That would also keep the area super hydrated and moisturized. I'm too scared to add it directly to my eye area. I'm just going to do that on the back of my hand and I will apply it like so. How do you guys like my new setup? I'm trying out different setups to see what is more comfortable for me. Do you like this a little bit better? Is it a little bit more brighter for you? Do you like how it looks? I think this looks really neat, so maybe I'll be trying this one for a little while, but you guys let me know if you like the other one a little bit better. I'll keep that one as well. Your feedback is truly important to me. As you can see, I'm going very gentle around my eye area. I'm trying to make sure that it is super hydrated, so I'll go ahead and massage it, not even rubbing anything. I'm literally just massaging it in like circle motions here and then lifting it away from face. This way it won't cause any future wrinkles and also just keep the area super hydrated and super saturated with this moisturizer. I'm gonna apply it to the rest of my face. How is your January going, you guys? Are you having good time? Are you starting your New Year's resolution? Did anything new happen? There's so many positive and so many negative things that are happening in this world. It's just so hard for me to keep up, so I'm confused right now. I'm genuinely confused on what's going on. Confused with my emotions and confused on how I should be feeling. But we'll see what February gives us. I'm being very hopeful. Another layer of hydration, I'll go ahead and use this one of my favorite ones. This also has hyaluronic acid and lavender. This will calm my skin and even out my skin tone. This is from Eupoda, current favorite as well. I have been using a lot of it this week. I love the hydration it gives me and just keeps my face very nice and hydrated all day. My face feels really hydrated. It's super glowy. It does feel a little tight around here, which is really nice because it does not feel any type of greasiness. It does not leave any residue. It just absorbed into my skin. It just looks so good. Do you just see how glowy my skin looks? It definitely just absorbed into my skin. It does not feel any type of grease. It just feels like my skin, but it's super hydrated and glowy. All right, now it's finally time to apply some concealer. I'm going to zoom you in so that I could show you the application that I would recommend. So first things first, I would recommend to leave your concealer in to set. So concealer loves to set by itself, so you basically usually don't need to set it with powder. But if you do, you could just use a little bit of setting powder or with baking to brighten up the area as well a little bit more. What I would recommend though is not going with a shade that is too light. As you can see, this one will be pretty perfect to the skin tone that I have right now. So it's not too bright or not too dark. Obviously, we don't want to use a darker shade. But if it's too bright, it may cause you to look a little bit, I would say, it would probably cause you to look a little bit more uneven than you are hoping to look. If you're trying to emphasize or brighten up the area, if you're going to use something that is a little bit more brighter, it will actually emphasize it worse, giving this area too much attention. So you really don't need that. So of course, those tips are going to be the first. We're going to let it sit and we're going to use the shade that is closer to your skin tone. I will go ahead and apply my concealer right here. I like to do that because I think it will be a little bit better to use whatever I applied here and stretch it out towards my under eye area. This way I'm not using too much product under my eyes, but it will be enough of product to conceal the under eye area. You could obviously already tell where are my darker spots around here. So I'm just applying this to lift my face and also just give it a more brighten up look. I also like to apply my concealer around my nose area to conceal the redness that I may have here and as well as my chin. Those are my favorite spots. And of course, if you're trying to conceal your acne, I would also leave a dot of it to set in as well. This is what I have applied here. Do you see how close it is to my skin color? This is what we're hoping for. I'm just going to use the same thing on the other side to match. And I like to add in a little bit here around the inner corner, just so that it brighten up the area. That is another little hack that you could use. It will brighten up the area even more. Concealing it with a dot. Now we're going to wait about 45 seconds, maybe 2 minutes at most to let it sit, and then we'll blend it. All right, now it is perfect time to blend everything out. I'll go ahead with this beautiful dense brush. This is a shaded brush that I got from Manji. This is an Amazon brand. This is pretty soft and has so many bristles. This will be a really good brush to blend everything. I'll start with the under eye area. We are going to be tapping the concealer in. As you could see, I am starting off with tapping it right where I applied it and then just stretching it out towards the under eye area where I like to conceal. When we are doing these motions, which are stippling motions, we are applying it into the crevices, like the wrinkles that I may have here. We're making sure that we're applying it with these motions. This is just going to make it saturated a little bit more better and more even. We're going to use this area as well. We're stretching it out towards our hairline to lift the face. Of course, I would recommend applying the foundation beforehand and avoiding this area. But right now we are obviously just focusing on the concealer application. But if you are going to apply just foundation and then concealer, I would just recommend to avoid this area so that you could apply your concealer after. We're going to continue. Sorry if my eye looks a little bit scary. We're going to continue our stipple motions. Same thing around the nose area. Currently still avoiding the pimple. and also the chin. Now the inner corner. This is what just going to make the makeup look a little bit more even. It will last you a very long time because you're applying it in the way of it not creasing. So we're just making sure that it is in every crevice very nicely and even and balanced application. Of course, if you want to have a little bit more control and a little bit more of that faded look, you could either use your finger or a beauty blender. I'll just tap everything in right under my under eye. This will just give me a little bit more of that smooth finish. Also, we do try to get the concealer that will be more on the creamier and more radiant and glowier side because we still want to keep this area hydrated. We want to make sure that it keeps us radiant and glowy before we go ahead and set it in with a powder, because powder is something that will mattify the look, and if you're using something matte around your eyes and will go in with a powder, this will make your look a little bit more cakier, which we don't want. So a hack to do is going ahead with a concealer that will be a little bit more glowier, and therefore will just give you a more smooth finish when you use it after with a powder. I'll go ahead and tap my acne spot now. Of course, I'm going to have a little bit of texture around it, but overall, my skin looks really nice and even. Whatever is left on the brush here, so to have that even canvas, I'll just add in whatever is left on my brush. This way, I'm not going to be adding excess amount of product. I'll just add what is enough, and this will give me a really nice even balance. Even though this area tends to crease anyways, because I have a hooded eye, it will crease anyways, and usually if I put powder on it, like baking powder, it will be completely fine. And also if I use any eyeshadows, it will be completely fine. Just use like powder products afterwards. But I have oily eyelids, it will melt the makeup anyways and it will crease. I am mostly focusing under my eyes, which is a little bit more better to control. We'll do the same thing on the other eye. I'm going to also add in a little bit of a sponge around this area to show you that it pretty much works the same. It really depends on how you just apply it. So very, very small tapping motions, just making sure that everything looks nice and even. What a beautiful finish. By the way, the concealer that I'm using is going to be the one that is from Armani Flawless Silk. Luminous Silk, not Flawless. It's going to be Flawless Finish, I think. By the way, this is a Luminous Silk Concealer in shade 5. Alright, as you can see here, the creases are done. They're not flaky. They're super hydrated. This is what we're looking for. Now to set it in, like I said, concealer loves to be set by itself, but if you want to get long-lasting finish, I would recommend with a baking powder. Here I have one from Revolution. I'll go ahead and add it over to the cap. This much is going to be more than enough. I'll be taking my powder puff and I'll be applying just a little bit. So I'll be tapping some of the powder onto my hand because we don't want to use too much. And I'll, like I said, always starting right where I added my concealer first and then just dragging the product in with tapping motions. This will just make it a little bit more smooth and also will saturate the area better to the fullest. Do you see how really nice it looks? It looks like a filter. And also relax your face and then look up just to make sure that it's fully covered. All right, now, like I mentioned prior, like you see here, my eyelids are oily, so they will crease anyway. I'll just tap it in one last time and make sure that it is blended. Unfortunately, there are probably ways to remove that type of problem, but unfortunately, I still haven't had a chance to find it. So if you have any suggestions, you let me know in the comment section so that I could learn. But unfortunately, my oily eyelids are pretty stubborn and nothing really works except for the powder. Making sure that it's super dry around that area because it's going to create natural oils anyway. But I don't want to mattify the area too much, meaning I will definitely still apply product, but I'll have to mattify it with a powder later on. This will also make sure that I'm not making my eyes cakey. It's super nice even, and I think I'm ready for the rest of the makeup. But for today, we are done, and I really hope this was helpful. Let me zoom you guys out. All right, this is my concealer tips and tricks, and I think they were pretty helpful. Let me know if you learned something new, and let me know if these tips were helpful. I really appreciate you watching this video, and I really appreciate that you give me a like and subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to turn notifications on so that you don't miss out any of my uploads. I will be uploading so much more very soon, so don't forget to do that so that you don't miss anything out. Thank you again for watching. I will be seeing you on my next one, but for now, have a good one. Bye!